Hi, I'm Steven. I'm going to just give you a casual introduction to the Senrio Insight platform. This is again just meant to be a quick introduction to kind of augment the documentation you've been probably already provided at this point. Cool. So this very short tutorial and setup guide is intended for new users that may be coming to Senrio in a number of different ways. You may be a new evaluation customer. You may be a new user for an existing customer or a customer site installation, or you may be performing an installation yourself for a new customer instance. Perhaps you're an integrator or a service provider or a VAR, what have you, and you're just curious about how to get started. So let's start. Generally, the very first email you receive as a new Senrio user is the onboarding email. This onboarding email has a couple crucial pieces of information. It has the unique Senrio ID of any sensors that may have been provided to you as part of the installation, the pre-installed or pre-configured Senrio sensors. It has information for accessing the API and the website of your dedicated Senrio cloud instance. And it also has two pieces of crucial documentation. Those documentation pieces are the Senrio setup guide and the Senrio user guide. If you've chosen the high security option for your Senrio cloud instance, then your onboarding guide will also include the dedicated Senrio SSL certificates that you can install into your browser. Let's take a quick look at the installation guide. Again, we're going to keep it simple. We're not going to go into any incredible detail here because we just want to get an idea of what's involved. All right, so this setup guide is very detailed, but the Senrio setup and installation process is actually very, very simple. In total, it's about 6 steps, but really it's only about 3 steps. So we presumably have chosen our sensor installation type, we've installed our sensors, and now we just want to access the website and begin to make queries and interface with the data. So it's really just a few steps. Remember, Senrio essentially has free sensors, and we have a number of different sensor installation types to facilitate the different types of customers that Senrio has. We have pre-installed, pre-configured sensors that are essentially plug-and-play appliances that just plug right into your network, you power them on, you walk away. They immediately start working. They come in 2 configurations, a 1U rack-mountable case configuration package, and another smaller mini-appliance in an industrialized, ruggedized PC. And the final Senrio sensor type is, of course, the software installation. And this software package can be installed on customer sites, on customer hardware. And again, these Senrio sensors can be installed into customer environments as many times as the customer needs for the visibility they require. Sweet. So hypothetically, me as a new user, I've chosen the 1U rack mount installation, and so my onboarding email contained the Senrio ID for that rack mounted PC. Now me and my head of IT, we received the Senrio sensor several days ago and did the installation, and in fact it was just a few seconds. Plugged into Ethernet ports and turned on the power and walked away. Great, so now I'd like to access the Senrio web interface. Before I do that, I'm going to take a quick peek at the user guide just to see what's in there. The user guide contains some proof of value and some initial introductions to different workflows within the Senrio web interface. Let's take a quick skim. In this document, we see how to add new sensors, different parts of the Senrio sensor metrics, how to begin viewing devices and device detail, how to begin understanding the way Senrio categorizes and tags and identifies devices, other really neat features like the Senrio web UI like traffic searching, and the Senrio coup de grace, which is the Senrio tagging engine, which is how the Senrio analytics are communicated to the user in a really simple and easy to understand visual element. Okay. And lastly, notifications. Notifications are generally the reason why users are logging into the Senrio interface to see, to pull reports or to see any changes or things that have happened on the network. It's also the primary point of interface for all the back-end Senrio analytics and behavioral analytics. Great. Okay, I want to log in, so let's do that. Now we've received our dedicated URL or the URL to the dedicated instance in our onboarding email, and I'm going to copy and paste that into my URL bar. Do this in a incognito window. Aha. So in our rush to try to get to the data, we neglected to actually install our browser keys. And here we see that Senrio has redirected us to a page that's informing us that we need the appropriate browser keys. And again, this is for customers who chose a dedicated high security option on their instance. It prevents users without these encryption keys from accessing the customer cloud instance from the public internet. So I flip back to my installation guide and I see that sure enough, in our installation guide we have instructions for installing the browser keys into Firefox, Chrome, and even Internet Explorer on Windows. Great, it looks pretty straightforward. Let's assume I have completed that installation process and now I'm ready to access my dedicated customer instance. I simply paste the URL into the URL bar and hopefully log in. Before I actually log in, I just want to note that the Senrio web UI does not force new users to conform to any username or password. Senrio new users can be bulk onboarded in a number of different ways, or users can simply just register to create an account and then validate that account through the emailed activation URL. So I'm going to log in with a new account that I just activated using this register view previously. Again, in our race to get access to the data, we neglected to see that the installation guide actually walks us through one of the crucial first steps of the Senrio Insight platform initialization. We have no Senrio sensors associated with our account. Again, one of the first pieces of information provided in our onboarding email is the Senrio ID of any pre-installed and pre-configured sensors that were provided with the onboarding. So we'll just paste that Senrio ID from the email into the Add Senrio dialog. Bingo. We can see here that the Senrio sensor has checked in recently, so it is reporting into the Senrio cloud instance, which is great. We have other videos on how you can manage and interface with all your Senrio sensors. But I'm just curious about the data, so I'm going to jump back to the dashboard and go over to the Explore view. Wow, there's a lot of data here. Well, that's great. We've already gotten started. Now we're beginning to access our data, and we're going to stop here. But hopefully this is a good warm-up, a casual introduction to getting started with the Senrio Insight platform. You'll see we talked about the Senrio user guide, the installation guide, the browser keys if you chose the high security option for your dedicated instance. And you've also probably noted that there is an interactive chat screen. So if you have any questions about any of the things that we've discussed here, you're more than welcome to drop us a question or reach out to us even via email if we can be of help. So hopefully this will get you started. Let us know if you have any questions, and welcome to the Senrio platform. Happy hacking.